Well, guys, it looks like Mike S. Miller's Lonestar will not be coming to Kickstarter. And the reason for this is... Let's start at the beginning. When he was planning to launch Lonestar with Kickstarter, they released this message back to him. Thanks for sharing your project with us. Everything's looking good. We can't wait to see you go live. And, they give him some advice, how to get press, how to spread the word, how to make sure that your project is funded successfully. But then not too long after this, October 1st, comes a much different message. Thanks for sharing your project with us. We appreciate your interest in creating something with and for the Kickstarter community. However, after a careful review, we've determined that your project cannot be approved for launch. So after they approve it, they decide, never mind. So obviously this is something that would boggle your mind if you were running this campaign, and one moment you're approved, next moment, no, taken off. So he responds back, and he tries to appease whatever the reason could be that he would be taken off. He says, I've removed all of the Soul of Soldier stuff that is available elsewhere at this time. These are all new covers for Lonestar, not just repackaging, but if that's the issue, please let me know. And they respond back. And once again, thanks for sharing your project with us. It does sound like such a robotic response every single time. They say the same exact, they start off with the same exact sentence. Thanks for sharing your project with us. We've carefully reviewed it against our rules and were unable to approve it for launch. As a public benefit corporation committed to fighting inequality and creating a more equitable world. Really? Is that what you're committed to? Maybe you should be committed to, making sure people don't get scammed on your platform, as usually happens. Kickstarter does not allow discrimination, subjugation, or intolerance towards marginalized groups. And then, of course, they cite their rules and list of prohibited items. This decision is non-negotiable. You can't meet them halfway. You can't try to fix the problem. It's just like, no, we don't want you. Get out. Now, they don't actually cite what specifically caused them to change their mind, but what they specifically list here is discrimination, subjugation, or intolerance towards marginalized groups. So Miller came to the conclusion that it was because of these pages that are released. Now, what is in these pages? Well, as you can see, there is a gang, specifically people meant to represent MS-13. And they are about to rape and then possibly kill this young black woman. What follows afterwards is Lonestar over here beats them up and saves her. So clearly discrimination against marginalized groups. I mean, it looks like he doesn't even kill any of these people. He beats them up, shoots them in the legs so they can't run away, snaps this one guy's arm, but yeah, it's mostly just him subduing them. But no, clearly, you see, this is where they mess up right here, because the right progressive thing to do is to let them rape the black woman. Okay, I guess you could look at this at a bunch of different ways, why Kickstarter would deny this and say that this is some kind of bigotry to have this in your book. I mean, HuffPost claimed that Rudolph was problematic just because they have you learn a moral in it. It's like just the fact that you even have intolerance in the movie just makes it problematic. That makes no sense. I don't understand that. But honestly, I think it's because they reference ICE in these pages. I think that's the real thing, because recently ICE is being paired with bad guys. And that's kind of just this idea that's being sold in politics now. So if these gang members are against ICE, then it makes it seem like ICE are the good guys. We can't have that. We can't have that. But Mike Miller had this to say: "Hey, Team Kickstarter, it's nice to see that you consider MS-13 a marginalized group, since that's the only people who are being subjugated in the artwork I provided. It looks like Lonestar is going to be heading towards Indiegogo instead. And for those of you asking, why are so many comic artists going to Indiegogo? Isn't Kickstarter bigger than Indiegogo? Isn't Indiegogo the little guy as far as crowdfunding websites go? It's because of this. This is why. Because Kickstarter, nobody understands Kickstarter's rules. But I mean, at the end of the day, the joke's on Kickstarter. Because if they don't want to take money for projects, if they want to, act super justified denying all these projects that are sure to make a lot of money, then that's their fault, because then they're just not getting their cut. Instead, somebody else is getting it. And that's why Indiegogo is booming right now with comics. No one wants to get their project approved and then denied, especially midway through a campaign. That would be awful. Miller was lucky. He got it approved and then disapproved before the campaign actually started. Some people were asking him, well, why did you even try to launch on Kickstarter in the first place? You know how crazy they are over there. And he responds with, he just wanted to give them a chance. Maybe them banning other comics was just a one-off thing because of the controversy back then. I guess not. It's clearly not the case, but good to know for certain. We had a lot of other people speaking out about the fact that his comic was denied on Kickstarter for really no good reason. Doug Ernst, you may remember him from Soul Finder. Kickstarter's decision to frame a violent gang as a marginalized group as pretext to deny Mike access to the platform. And people are also mentioning that despite this comic being denied, for these type of pages that show him defeating a well-known gang, a real gang who really does stuff like this, and he defeats them from raping a black woman, apparently that doesn't matter. You should have just let them rape her. Look at that white skin. You're not allowed to step in on these matters. You're too white for that. You have to just let her be raped. And despite Kickstarter denying Miller's book, they approve of other books which have kind of controversial topics in them themselves, but because they lean more left, they are A-okay in Kickstarter's mind. I mean, it's always disappointing to see a well-known, established crowdfunding website just go down in the dumps because of their own headspace. They want to be seen as a hero, so they push other people down to the dirt in order to pretend they are defeating a villain. But obviously that's not the case here. There's nothing wrong with beating up gang members and saving a woman from being raped. And in real life, MS-13 are not the good guys, so calm yourself, Diago. And even if this was like the other way around, if it were ICE members raping a Mexican woman, and say that comic got banned because, oh, well, that's not nice viewing ICE members that way, even then I would still be upset because it's like, bad people exist everywhere. A story is a story, and injustice is injustice no matter what side it's on. So, Mr. Miller, good luck on your Indiegogo Lonestar comic, and good luck to everyone else running campaigns out there. Chances are, if you have even a remotely sensitive comic that you want to run a campaign for, can't go to Kickstarter. Obviously, my comic would have gotten denied on Kickstarter. Are you kidding me? Try to run a campaign called Orgasm Girl on Kickstarter. They would be raising eyebrows at me. Anyway, let me know what you think down below in the comments. As usual, remember to like the video and heed my advice. I'll see you next time, guys. Bye!
Program restart.